Hello friends, welcome to our channel. So today we are going to look about RDBMS, so Relational Database Management System. So basically to learn more on SQL, we want to know where the actually used, right? So we want to have some basic knowledge on this Relational Database Management Systems. Okay, so basically a relational database management system is a DB management system that is based on the relational model which was introduced by E.F. Codd. Okay, so this one is like included in various database systems like MS SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft Access, and many more. So today we are having many relational database management systems in the market, and based upon the need, the industries are choosing one among the other. But for everything, SQL is going to be utilized across. So there are like even Spark is also kind of advanced SQL, right? So based upon the industry needs, the base language stays there is SQL. So to understand more on that, today we'll discuss on some basic concepts related to this RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay, so now that I have told, this is going to be a relational model introduced by E.F. Codd. Okay, we have been telling like it's all going to be handling the data. So the data will be in the form of database objects in these systems. So the database objects they are called as tables. Okay, so this tables, which is a database object, is where the data will be stored in this kind of RDBMS systems. Okay, so basically we can say it's a collection of related data entries and it consists of n number of columns and rows. So however the data is there, based upon that the table will be holding number of rows and columns. Okay, so let me put up an example of a table so that we will discuss in detail. Okay, so consider, let me name this as a kind of customer table. So there is this table in our system. Okay, and this table I am just giving a name called customer. So this customers table, okay, we'll see what are all going to be the part of this table. Okay, so the customer means obviously the name is going to be there, name of the customer, and how many customers we are going to deal with in this table. So I will give ID number. Okay, because I want to know the count as well as even the how to identify each and every customer. Sorry guys. And so let's take the phone number of the customer. Okay, so what is their age? Okay, we'll have some say 4 fields. So ID to to validate or identify the customer by unique number, because the name might be same. Okay, so I'm having a name and I'm having a phone number column and having age. Okay, and we'll say some sample details are being filled. Okay, so this is, let be John, Seema, Karthik. Okay, phone number, like it will be like data, we know, right? Some 10-digit data. And the age we can just give us some age. Okay, so consider this as a table. This is the customers table which we have taken for example. So here we are just going to see what are all the various things that is covering as part of this database object. So in this, if you see this ID, name, phone number, age, these are all called as fields. Basically we see the table is going to be broken up into smaller entities called as fields. Okay, but if you take, this is ID values, this is name values, this is phone number values, like that we are able to define it at the field level. So this is called as a field. And what is a record in the row? Okay, if you see, this is column data, this is row data. Okay, this is one row, this is one column. Okay, this second row, this second column, this third row, this is a third column. So now that we are having this table, what is considered to be a record or a row? Okay, so if you see this whole set, so for a row where we have all the field values, so this is called as a record. So guys, you must be thinking why like we are going in very simple terms today, because if you are able to get these basic things, later in the SQL sessions on our videos, if you are like just going to talk on over the terminologies, so you will be able to correlate, and the classes will be very easy for you to follow. So that is why we are telling. Okay, so these four are called as fields. Okay, and each row is called as row or a record. Each column data is called as a column data. Okay, so basically column is a vertical entity and row is a row or record is a horizontal entity. So these data comprises of a table content. Okay, and if you see in our table, we are like having almost all the values are there. Consider a kind of a data. Okay, so the data is like I'm not having name, so I'm just keeping it as null, but I have the phone number and the age is also there. Somehow the name is not available for this record. So what is this null value? A null value in a table, okay, if it is going to be appearing under any field, okay, it is a field with null value, which means no value is there. We cannot call it as like a zero. Okay, since it is being null, we cannot call it as a equivalent to 0 or something that contains spaces. So we know, right, if you are going to leave blank and give some space values, that can also be considered as null, but that's not the case. In SQL, if it is null, if the no value is being there, null is the correct value to be used in the table. Okay, so this null is not equal to 0 value or not equal to spaces. Okay, null means no value, pure meaning no value. So that is how null is going to be utilized in this SQL concepts. Okay, and okay, we all know like basically we are going to deal with lots and lots of data here. Okay, in this relational database management systems, there might be various data available. So how the integrity, how the accuracy of the data can be like existing or maintained over here in this DB systems, right? So there are various integrity data levels that can be achieved here. Okay, so let us go one by one. Data integrity. So in this data integrity, if you see here, in this RDBMS systems, okay, data integrity exists actually, mean the data accuracy or data consistency, okay, all these things exist. So they exist in 4 forms actually, okay. First one is going to be entity integrity. So this entity integrity is what it is showing or depicting, right? There are no duplicate rows in a table. If you see here, no 2 rows will be having exact similar data in all the fields. At least one field value, one column value should vary between 2 rows. Okay, so this is called as entity integrity. And the second one is going to be domain integrity. Okay, the second one is going to be domain integrity. So it actually enforces valid entries for a given column by restricting the type, format, and or the what are the values we can enter it over there. So if you see in this table, okay, this ID column will not be allowed to be updated with any alphanumeric values. It has to be numeric. It won't allow alphabets or alphanumeric. It has to be numeric, so that we are actually designing. So the same way in the name, okay, so in the name is a numeric values allowed or not. Obviously we can design it to be allowed, because if there are going to be some company names, okay, with some numbers like entity names, so to adjust that, this name column can be modified to accept even numeric values. On the other hand, phone number and age, okay, it will be designed to accept only numeric, no alphabets. So like this, for an example I am just telling. So by making this domain integrity rule, it actually enforces us to provide only valid values by restricting the data type, data format, and the data values which are allowed there, okay. And the third one is going to be referential integrity. Referential integrity. So the name says, right, referential. So it is going to be referred from some other record. Okay. So consider, okay, this customers table, okay, this data whatever is available, it is also going to be utilized for some other purpose. Okay, we will take a kind of example of salary table. Okay, salary table. So the salary table, okay, this will look for the say they are going to take the names and the phone number from this customer table and utilize there to populate each one's salary. Okay, so how that is being done we'll be discussing in later sessions. So just consider this as an example. So whatever the data is available in this customer table, it is going to be referenced and used in the salary table to just come up with the salary records, salary details, okay, for any particular month or for a year or for what the purpose they are trying to view the records there. So it is being actually taking this record from this table and using it there. So it is referring this data, right? This kind of records, say for example, they are taking Karthik and Seema to be a valid participant for that one, means these both cannot be deleted. These rows cannot be deleted at all. So we can set that kind of rule using this referential integrity rule and maintain the data integrity over there. And apart from this, any other special rule we want to enforce for any business purpose or for any other usage, we can achieve it through user defined integrity. Okay, so the user defined integrity, it for some specific business rules that do not fall into these three categories, entity, domain, referential, user can set any specific rules. Say for example, okay, consider this John is actually being used in any of the tables for so this John's record is actually used in entity, domain level, referential level, everywhere. But all of a sudden John is going to resign, so his record doesn't want to be pulled up and used into the salary table. This is kind of a new condition, and it's an explicit condition. All of a sudden, due to the change situation, that he has resigned the job, and no more this record needs to be moved out to anywhere and being utilized over. Okay, so a special condition can be applied on this particular John's record so that it won't be utilized by other related tables. For example, here salary table. So this kind of special conditions, right? So whatever the user wants to achieve and maintain the data integrity still to the fact, to the accurate, to the consistent level, that can be achieved through user defined integrity. Okay. So next we are going to discuss on database normalization. So this DB normalization is like kind of process of efficiently organizing the data in any database. Okay, it's just to organize the data in an efficient manner. Organize data efficiently in DB. Okay, so by doing this, what we are going to do is eliminate redundant data. For example, storing the same data in more than one table, so whether it is needed or not. So for that we have to go for the normalization process, and also ensure data dependencies are really making sense. Okay, so this normalization helps to eliminate two things: eliminate data being stored in more than one place. Okay, and also the data dependency is really makes sense. So why we are actually doing these things? Because if you are going to check on these two things and try to normalize the process so that you organize the data in the database in an efficient manner, right, it will actually reduce the amount of space a database consumes. And also your data is logically stored or not, it will help you to ensure, right, so that you will be having more space utilized for database in a very meaningful manner. So that is why database normalization is given much importance in this concepts. So overall we have seen so many topics, to just cover the basics of RDBMS systems, right from how that is created based on the EF chord relational model. Okay, so what are database objects, what are tables, so the table example, fields, the column, the vertical entity, horizontal entity, record or row. Okay, and what is the null value, so what is data integrity and what kind of data integrities are existing in this, and how the database normalization is done. So hope you all got some idea of on the basics of this relational database management system, guys. Okay, if you find this interesting, please do share it to your friends. Keep supporting us. Do subscribe for our channel. Okay, also stay tuned in for more concepts related to SQL, which is like on the way. Hope to see you all soon on our next video. Until then, it's your VK signing off. Bye bye.